So I'm gonna make a couple videos here and try to stitch them all together, or edit them together, whatever that is. So this is, I guess I call it the rescue cast iron pan. The handle was broken off and it's very pitted from being in a scrap pile. I welded that with flux core MIG, and as you can see, it's not very pretty. I ground out porosity and re-welded it several times, but if I did it again, I would not worry about porosity in the welds. This side looks a little better, but you can see the porosity in there is pretty bad. And then that side there, I didn't grind that down, I just left it. And I think it was sitting like this, all full of pine needles. And so it's very pitted here. But after it got seasoned, it's very smooth. And this is very non-stick. I can cook eggs in it, throw in some cheese, nothing sticks. I'm very surprised, even with these pits, just kind of gives it some texture, I guess, or I don't know, just doesn't really affect it that much. Kind of silly looking, kind of ugly maybe, but that's my rescue Griswold cast iron pan, all seasoned up, and it still works. I saw a guy on the internet, I forgot his name, maybe I can tag him in it later, but he did a test of welding these handles on and seeing how much weight they can hold with MIG welding cast iron. Everyone says, oh yeah, you know, you can't do it. Well, you can't do it and make it look like it ain't been done, but you can do it. Anyways, his test came up at like, I believe for the MIG solid wire was 90 something pounds, I believe. And I think flux core, and I think the solid wire was over 100 pounds before this handle broke. So just cooking eggs in it on the gas stove, perfectly fine. I'm not gonna be carrying around anything heavy in here. So what I do have to show you though is I have another pan that I just got. Go get it. And this pan looks nice. So this is the same exact pan, Griswold number 6, which I think the number 6, I think they're 8 inches across there. But this one had a very nice life, it looks like. You can still kind of see a little bit of machine marks here maybe. But there is the problem right there that I am going to try to fix. There's this crack right near the handle. And I'm thinking I should be able to put a little bead on there. And this thing's going to be back to work. This looks a little bit more pitted on camera, but it's just the natural casting marks on there. But there's a big difference here. I guess one maybe had mold L and that's a mold X, or maybe that's the month. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, this has a different handle than this one. This is the old, I think this one's much older. I could be wrong, it could be the other way around. This one could be way older. I'll have to look that up. But I'm gonna clean this up here, maybe with the Dremel. Gotta get some of the oil off of here. And gotta get ready to preheat this. I'm gonna preheat it in the oven. And I think this time I'm gonna kind of put a torch on the back side when I weld this side. And just kind of keep it pretty hot and then put it in the oven again. Last time I did 400. I think I'm gonna go for 500 this time and get it really hot. Put that weld on there. Zip. Let it soak for a little, or let it cool down for a little bit, and then come back and just kind of fill in that crack. So yeah, try to take some videos of the welding and a little bit more of the process. But yeah, I'll see you here when we get everything fired up.